If fantasy and romance are what you seek, featuring heroines who aren't quite so meek, with book talk and Instagram full of deceit, simply listen to our podcast, Our Picks of the Week.
I read another Ali Hazelwood book.
And no one blames you in the slightest.
I know. I'm just fully in my contemporary romance era. This one, too. Maybe I'm in my, college contemporary romance era.
I don't know. I think you're just leaning heavily into romance because, well, frankly, it's hard to mess romance up.
True.
It really is.
True. You are not wrong. Because obviously this is another banger by Ali Hazelwood. I'm talking about Deep End.
Banger.
Yeah, this is going to be just chock full of euphemisms, diving in, sliding in. Sorry. So Deep End follows a college diver, platform diving, whatever. Her name is Scarlett. She is a junior at Stanford. And so obviously Stanford, we get little cameos from Adam Carlson and the chick from
Lovely.
The Love Hypothesis. And Scarlett is experiencing the twisties, Simone Biles Olympics-esque,
Vertigo-ish kind of thing.
Yeah. So Scarlett had an injury 6 months ago that was pretty traumatic, and she's rehabbing, and she's physically fine, but emotionally she's still having difficulty doing this one dive. And so she has a mental block against it. And so her college, career is a little bit on hold, so to speak. All of her other dives are fine, but this one is causing problems. Scarlett's best friend, Penny, is also on the dive team, and she has been diving. She's America's sweetheart. A lot of people know her in the community, and her boyfriend is a Swedish swimmer.
Is he over 6 feet tall and
Oh,
very blonde?
obviously. Very handsome, typical Swedish. He is...
all Swedish people, typically beautiful.
I know, and tall,
fair.
Yeah, I don't know what gene pool they're dealing with, but goddamn. Anyways, they are dating. They're well known in the diving swimming community. He's been to the Olympics, the Olympic trials, a bunch of, he's almost professional basically. And so they've been dating for the last 4 or 5 years. Except Penny kind of reveals to Scarlett that she is feeling kind of unfulfilled in her romantic relationship. She feels like she's not getting enough, attention and communication from, I forgot what the boyfriend's name is, something super typically Swedish sounding. But she's not getting, enough from him. And also, their sexual inclinations are mismatched as well, because Penny is not really into what our Swedish guy is into, and that has a tendency towards more of the BDSM flavor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sexual relationship. And, Scarlett is listening to this, and she's like, oh, well, I could offer you some, pointers, some tidbits, because I also am into that same progolectivity.
Our sweet, shy college junior?
Yep.
Okay.
Is apparently into it. And she's like, my ex-boyfriend wasn't really into it, so we had to navigate that together. So I can give you some tidbits. And Penny's like, okay, I guess, but I'm not really into it. Until Penny, while in a drunken haze sitting on a swing set next to Scarlett and her Swedish boyfriend, is
they're all together.
Oh, yeah, they're all together at a side, diving swimming party.
Interesting.
Yeah, hanging out. Penny's drunk. Nobody else really is. And she's like, oh my God, I have an incredible idea. We're taking a break, so why don't you guys get together and be, sexual deviants? Obviously, that's very uncomfortable to be,
Can you imagine having that conversation with your friend? No.
No fucking way. Absolutely not.
No.
Because even the Swedish boyfriend is like, girl, excuse me. He walks her home. He's like, you're gonna go home. But obviously they sort of become aware of each other after this, because it's we're both interested in the same thing. And there proceeds a dive into some BDSM culture, power dynamics, sexual relationship that eventually proceeds into a romance. I loved it, honestly. I didn't love Scarlett because she's a little bit too super nervous college girl for my taste, but everything else about it I devoured.
Okay, so you read a little while ago another Ali Hazelwood book called Not in Love.
Yeah.
And you said that was too much spice.
Yeah, because I tried reading it. It was probably about a year ago or 6 months, and I stopped at 30% because I'm this is for sure erotic romance. I know it's it's marketed as erotic
Mhm.
romance, so I should have known what I was getting into. But
Yeah, it's one of the few that I've actually been like appropriately like labeled and
Yeah.
advertised.
yeah, it was surprising. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be that bad. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of liquids. Sorry.
A lot of liquid. That's the word you chose.
I'm not really here for this. But I actually recently tried it again as an audiobook and absolutely smashed it. Banger, 10 out of 10. That is like a more aggressive version of this. Like if you aged up the characters and made them different a little bit. But that's, if you, try Deep End and you're like, I like it, but, it was a little bit like too college-esque, beginning nascent stages of a BDSM relationship. I want more. Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood will give you what you are looking for. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like Allie Hazelwood she's got 3 different things going on right now. She's got her romantasy bride mate angle because Mate's coming out in October, readers. We're all ready for it. And that's very traditional, like pacing wise with romantasy. 65%. They reach completion.
Whoa. Talk about liquids. Sorry.
But then you have like the love hypothesis and love theoretically, which are very traditional rom-com flavored. Maybe a little bit more spice, but it's still pretty tame.
Yeah.
And then Not in Love and Deep End, which seem to be her darker, like let's play.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Honestly. It's interesting because I would say that Deep End kind of like bridges the gap between the like rom-com and Not in Love, but it's definitely on that side of the spectrum because like they start as a sexual relationship and then it's like, wait a second, like I kind of have feelings for him and I like him and I want to hang out with him because Scarlett kind of goes through this whole thing like she's dealing with some sort of emotional thing. But she's like, I can't tell him about it. Like, that's not his, lane. Like, he's still in love with Penny and we're just having like a fling. Like, and he's like, you're being stupid. Like, I like you and I want to be there for you. And she's like, oh, listening to, the audiobook of this book. And he's like very calmly explaining like, no, I want to be here for you and provide emotional support. I was like, whoa, Jesus, like not on a Sunday morning.
That's deep.
Highly recommend. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like a, Swedish man too. Because I think the audiobook narrator is Swedish. Because there's a couple of like Swedish words in there that are pronounced perfectly.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's also a whole family of Swedes. Like he comes from like 4 older brothers who are equally as handsome
Are
and
they
tall.
all going to have their own books?
I hope so.
Yeah,
let's do it. I'd sign up for it. Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was cute. Very college romance coded. Obviously, that's sports romance, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Well, from Katie's shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Check out the Spice Archive at notanotherheroine.com to see all of our reviews and ratings. And if you'd like to support our growing library, find us on Patreon and get access to exclusive bonus content.
If you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.